I'm a single guy. I have no children. When I'm gone, I'm gone. I've got, just like Satoshi left 1 million Bitcoin to the universe, so I'm leaving whatever I've got to the civilization. If you're going to invest in Bitcoin, a short time horizon is 4 years, a mid-time horizon is 10 years. The right time horizon is forever. Warren Buffett said, if you wouldn't hold it for 10 years, you shouldn't hold it for 10 minutes. So if you look at the course of 4 years, no one's ever lost money over 4 years holding Bitcoin. And if you look at, our experience, we started buying it at $10,000, and now it's up by a factor of 4. So given the right time horizon, you're fine. So it's a blessing and a curse. The blessing is it makes it the most exciting, interesting thing in the financial universe everywhere in the world. And the curse is it can induce anxiety for people that have a short attention span or are focused on a narrow time horizon.
Welcome back to the channel. Aaron here from Bitcoin Bros. We're going to be getting into some charts here about why MicroStrategy could perform very well. It could be extremely bullish for MicroStrategy in November. I'll be telling you guys exactly why in today's video. Make sure to stay tuned. And then I got a clip from the Quant Bros, Jeff, at the end of the video. I just want you guys to check out what their thoughts are right now on the current state of Bitcoin and the market. But let's go ahead and just jump into it here, guys. So this is from Raoul Pal. This is something he talks about a lot, the GMI Total Liquidity Index, and how Bitcoin has followed that in the past. And as you can see, it has a 10-week lead. And over the next 10 weeks, you can see that the GMI Total Liquidity is trending up. So we could potentially see Bitcoin's price trend up right along with it, like we've been seeing this entire year, which would put Bitcoin up here around $80,000 or $90,000 by the end of the year. That would be huge. So that's something to watch out for there, along with stock to flow. Looking at previous cycles and seeing how they have performed and comparing that to where we are now. As you can see, we're getting out of that dark red territory. And once we start to get in that light red territory, that's when Bitcoin really starts to make the next move up to the upside. So if that plays out again this year, you can only imagine where Bitcoin is going over the next year or so. And that's just extremely bullish. And imagine what that would do for the MicroStrategy stock price. And then one thing I wanted to talk about here that is huge for MicroStrategy is the election on November 5th. So we have the election on November 5th. We obviously don't know who's going to win, but looking at all the betting markets right now, looking at Pi Market, Trump is a 66% favor over Kamala Harris, and even over on Predicted, he is a 60% favorite over Kamala Harris. This does not mean Trump is going to win, but we know Trump is pro-crypto, pro-Bitcoin. This will be extremely bullish for Bitcoin, for crypto, on top of the fact the stock market and the Bitcoin and crypto market traditionally is bullish in the period after the election because there's just a lot more certainty on who's going to be the president over the next 4 years. And if Trump wins the election, that's going to be huge for Bitcoin. It could lead it into a Q4 rally, which would be massive for MicroStrategy. Now, there's one caveat that I think that could knock us down, and that's going to be the jobs numbers that are coming out on November 1st. Be paying attention to this date. If we get bad jobs reports or we see a lot of companies doing layoffs, there's going to be recession fears and the market will sell off. My personal opinion, I don't think that's going to happen. I think we're going to get a decent jobs report. I think that the recession fears are going to kind of slowly fade away. Inflation is falling down. The economy is kind of getting back to where it was. We're starting to see some more quantitative easing. The M2 money supply is going up now, so they're kind of propping the market up on these fake dollars that they continue to print. But this is definitely a day that you want to watch out for. And I know a lot of people on the channel always get mad at me for showing this because they don't believe the jobs numbers. And, obviously they're not 100% correct, but the market does move when these numbers come out. And then a huge catalyst for MicroStrategy is getting included into the NASDAQ. And that's going to be determined on November 29th next month. So you can see why November is going to be a huge month for Bitcoin, for MicroStrategy. And this was made by Ben Workman, this chart here. But you can see the allocation. This is the yearly flows, I believe, on how much money MicroStrategy would be able to get if they were included in the NASDAQ 100. 572 million at the 73 spot here. Which would be massive for MicroStrategy because then they can use these flows to then buy more BTC. One thing to think about here is this was done last week. MicroStrategy stock is now at $51 billion. And you can see that's going to put it in the top 70 at least for MicroStrategy. And we need to be in the top 75 by November 29th to be included in the NASDAQ 100. And that's going to be a massive inclusion just to get this much more money coming into MicroStrategy. You guys already know Saylor is going to use some creative financing or just some creative ways to get more BTC using all that money. So it's going to be huge if we can stay in the top 75. I think if Trump wins the presidency, the top 75 is definitely in the bag. You know, we're not a political channel at all. I don't think Trump winning or losing is going to affect the future of Bitcoin or the fate of Bitcoin, but I definitely think it will accelerate it. And in the short term, it will definitely push prices higher. And then one last bullish indicator I wanted to share with you guys is if we look what happened 4 years ago back in 2020, we can see back here, if we go to the exact date that we're on today, October 28th, which would be somewhere right around here, Bitcoin was trading at around $13,000. If we take that to the end of the year, let's just go all the way up to January 1st, that's going to put Bitcoin at around 100% move by the end of the year. So 4 years ago, Bitcoin had a massive rally after the election, and we could see this same exact thing play out after this election. So if we have 100% move for Bitcoin, that puts Bitcoin around $130,000 to $140,000. What do you think that's going to do for MicroStrategy? Could really be massive. We could see some huge price targets hit for MicroStrategy very, very quickly. A lot of bullish indicators, guys. Very exciting. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. But let's go ahead and get into this clip from one of the quant bros, Jeff, talking about why he's so bullish on MSTR. Let's go ahead and play the clip.
The MicroStrategy trade makes sense to me because they are monetizing the volatility of their stock and stepping down the volatility of Bitcoin using their stock to structure and design a financial product to fit a investor's appetite. That's it. Like, they're doing the same thing I'm doing, just in a different marketplace. And they're going to continue doing this. And this market is very deep. Like, the pools of capital in this market are very deep. They're much deeper than the reinsurance market. much, much deeper. We're going to see people buying. People are going to want to buy these all the time. I mean, this is going to get way bigger. This convertible debt issuance is going to get way bigger. It's going to get way, 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 way bigger. I wouldn't be surprised if we start seeing corporations buying this convertible debt. Like, I mean, Microsoft, shit. Instead of just buying Bitcoin, maybe they go to MicroStrategy and say, "Hey, I want to buy $1 billion of MicroStrategy convertible debt." Perfect. Smash buy Bitcoin. Throw a call option. We'll pay you a yield of, I don't know, 20 basis points for a decade. And there you go. There's your 1% hedge, Microsoft. Convertible bonds on MicroStrategy, $1 billion. Like 1%. Done. Not even 1%. $4 billion would be 1%. And you get Bitcoin exposure, because what's Saylor going to do? He's going to take that $4 billion and he's going to smash buy Bitcoin. He's going to shove it in there. This is crazy. I haven't seen anything like it before, which is why it's so unique to me. I think it's really, really pretty fascinating. So I really just like the math, and I really like understanding how markets work, right? So I work in a reinsurance market, which is super niche. I was like, okay, now I need to understand the equity market. Boom, go over the equity market. Oh, I need to understand the debt market. Boom, do that. Real estate market. I love, thinking about all these different marketplaces and how they kind of are interconnected, because all the capital is becoming a bit more fluid. Like, before a digital economy, these reinsurance transactions that I previously was explaining, they were done literally on a napkin at the bar. Like, there are stories about reinsurance transactions. Yeah, dude, I'm good for 25 million. Write me down for 25 million. It's like napkin at the pub in Lloyd's of London. Like, no shit. That's how these were done. Now we're getting to a digital world where there's much more transparency. Capital moves quicker, and speed is going to be important. And the reinsurance market is incredibly slow. And same with insurance. And I suspect that these marketplaces over the next decade are going to transition into faster marketplaces, either via tokenization, digitalization, democratization of these types of risk. I mean, just thinking about cat risk is really fun. I'm sure like half of the people watching this would love to gamble on like hurricanes hitting Florida. I'm surprised it's not a gambling platform yet. I'm sure there will be something at some point in the future where we see something like that. So that'll be interesting to see how that gets tokenized. I'm sure it's going to get tokenized, and I'm sure that capacity is going to get into the insurance and reinsurance markets.